something different, and I've not been so convinced with the likes of his Rise and a couple of other champions.
Rise has been permanently banned today, a lot banned. So I want to see whether or not that continues to be the case. Instantly, Jhin taken off the table, this time targeted obviously towards Tabs, and Nivea follows suit. So if Vladimir is not banned away by Millenium, you have to consider that first pick worthy.
Yep. Absolutely, especially with the Nivea gone. Pretty is a Nivea player, so he would run it even not being into the Vlad. It typically is one of his comfort picks.
Yeah, done very well so far as well. 2 games played. Swain and Irelia taken off the table from Millenium. So Trundle is still up and available. Shen has been first picked multiple times today, and Shen has been played by Kaze?
Why would you ban? Oh, this is... Okay, so unless they want to get the Azir onto caps, I dislike a lot of the Vlad bans on blue side.
Because it's first pick worthy and it's so good.
Not only is it first pick worthy, the other thing here would be you could have banned the Shen and got the Vlad. I now see, obviously, that you kind of don't want to give away one of the two. I just feel like Vlad's more impactful than Shen.
And it allows the Sivir ban to be taken away. So Upset not going to be able to have that utility ADC. Not the highest priority when it comes to bans, but Upset played a game last week, 2-1-7. Decent performance, decent showing. Millenium, where do they go? Karma, Elise, Rek'Sai. Those have all been top tier picks. Braum, Bard, while you're looking for your papers.
You stole mine as well.
No, I didn't. I have my own. I have my little collection here to the side.
That's fine.
We can share. You need Millenium?
No, I've got both.
I got you,
it's
homie.
good.
I got you, homie.
Giving away the secrets of casters. Just paper everywhere.
If you don't prep, I don't know where that goes.
It's
I can't finish it.
Fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Good, I like that. And mid lane, Karma. Pretty has not played that yet, the split. Braum for Masterwork.
But it does somewhat fit some of the avenues that Millenium have liked to go down, where they pick a little bit more of a utility focused, less carry focused mid laner. We know Pretty can carry, but they tended in previous splits when they had Hans Sama to focus more on their duo lane and play more around that to carry the game. We know Kaze can play kind of the off tanks, the bruisers, the semi carries if you take it in the top lane where you've got the likes of a Hecarim, that kind of pick.
Okay.
We'll see if that way is where they go. They've got a Karma with it. Could very well go.
They do. The Sivir's not there, so that limits the likelihood of an Olaf or Hecarim.
That's fair.
Would have been exciting. And Olaf has been banned a few times, so...
That's a jungle Olaf.
Okay. What do you think of jungle Olaf?
Now that you've got an Ashe alongside it, I quite like it. Because now what you do is you use Ashe as your primary engage. You then follow up with the Shen ultimate on Olaf, run him in. The only thing you're lacking is the likes of the Karma, the Sivir, that movement speed boost. But of course you run Ghost. The thing I don't like about Olaf that is less of an issue in Challenger is the snowball effect that is required to get an Olaf into a game and get him carrying.
Okay. Because it's easier to do in Challenger?
Exactly. People are a little less stringent on where they're warding, shutting him down, that kind of thing. We heard Perks talking about it. Same with Hecarim jungle. If it doesn't snowball hard, it does nothing. It just dies.
Well, yeah, because he has to run at you.
Exactly.
And he has to be able to get to the back line to be a threat. So... We'll find out whether or not Memento can get the ball rolling. Momentum. There we go. We'll see if it'll carry him. Stress helping out today. Trundle makes it all the way down to the fourth rotation rather, over on Millenium side in conjunction with Ezreal. So they've got a lot of poke. There's a lot of tools here to disengage and kite. Braum, Karma, Trundle, Ezreal. But they don't have the engage power. They don't have that, like, let me catch someone and kill them right now, unless there's a mistake.
Choco could end up with the Rek'Sai, the Gragas could come out here. If they want the Hecarim, that would be an option, but I don't actually like it so much in this setup. Yeah. That's the thing is, I think you're relying then on too many carry-focused champions.
Yeah.
You're looking at the likes of a Trundle top lane and a Hecarim. Both are going to compete a lot for that kind of impact in team fights, and they can't both have it.
So I feel like Rek'Sai if you want to play aggressive and forward.
Oh, give Zyra.
Gragas if you want to play disengage and backwards. But Zyra into a disengage comp when are you ever really going to catch somebody?
Yes! If you've got an Aurelion Sol and you're flying straight down mid. Okay, I'm quite happy. You sat down at the desk today and said, when was the last time we saw Aurelion Sol? The last time I believe we saw Aurelion Sol may have been by Caps, but it was in Challenger Series qualifiers here in the European Challenger Series.
Right.
I am aware it has been run in other regions. We have seen it, I believe, in LPL. I think that Gragas is probably going to get locked in here from Millenium, further disengaged too. So you are right, it's tough to run a Zyra into a disengage comp, but what it does give you is zone control, gives you a good engage potential and follow-up, especially now with an Aurelion Sol. We were talking about how the difficulty of getting an Olaf is getting into the fight and continuing. You've got Aurelion Sol, you've got Ashe, you've got Zyra. 3 roles with a lot of crowd control coming out of the bottom half of the map at least.
And from very, very far away.
Yeah.
Off-screen, Comet of Light, Comet of Legend can come down from Aurelion Sol, land that big giant stun from the Q.
I want to see it.
Ash Arrow can follow up as well. And if any of them hit, in theory, Memento is going to be delivering Wicked Shen. So you've even got potential backline threat. The question is, can the rest of the Nerv composition get past Gragas, get past Braum, get past the Karma Slows? Like, there's so much to deal with.
I don't care. I'm happy to see this composition. It's a tough one that Nerv are trying to pull off here. Like, this is not an easy composition. You'd look at it and say, well, it's Ash Arrow into CC follow-up, but there are a lot of fragile components here on the side of Nerv. So if you want them to take this win at LoL eSports, hashtag NRV win if you want the Aurelion Sol and the rest of the comp to win. Hashtag MIL win if you think Disengage has got it from Millenium. Game 5 of the day, and we're already in Crazyville.
I love
only
it.
just loading in.
We saw Evelyn earlier today, and now we're seeing Aurelion Sol plus Olaf. And you know, I like this composition. I am interested to see how Zyra works and whether or not Zyra will be able to find a good Stranglethorns and find good knockups. But I'm willing to be surprised. There's a lot of tools that'll hold people in place.
I want to see the Hoo-Hee play. I want to see the down mid lane, charge it up, get yourself the Rasengan.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Dragon Ball is not a strong point of mine.
Naruto, you did that on purpose.
Yes, I did.
You did that on purpose. I did. And I'm not letting you get away with it.
Oh,
triggered.
That's the one way
fully triggered.
Oh, you never will know the pleasure of tilting the anime fans in the office. Well,
yeah,
misquoting.
You cannot.
All the time.
You cannot actually get away with that one, especially because I actually have an Uchiha Sasuke tattoo. So I will not let that one slide.
Bless you.
Yes. Right, let's take a look at the lane assignments. Australia lane seems to be the name of the game. It is going to be Trundle taking on Wicked Shen.
I love Aurelion Sol.
Yep.
Yeah, and for anybody that hasn't really seen Aurelion Sol, obviously these stars orbit him, and they're used for... A lot of his damage comes from them. He can expand them using his W. That's what Caps has taken first. You can see him zoning pretty away with it earlier. Like that. Thanks, Caps. I mean, I know he's in the future, so it was just a coincidence. But no, we'll get more into Aurelion Sol's kit as it goes. Very unique champion. Has massive crowd control effects if you can land them, but they're very fragile and very tricky to land.
Yes. Take a lot of coordination as well.
Yes.
Ghost plus Flash so that Caps can actually continue to chase his star. So it's the Q. The longer he chases it, the bigger and scarier it becomes.
Caps is on the wrong side of his lane. It's fortunate that Joko is fairly low health there on the red buff. You can see even a Hawkshot came over from Upset to spot that out, giving Caps a little bit of freedom.
I have to feel if Joko was a little lower, Caps could have safely gone into contest with Celestial Expansion. You know Joko's going to be a little low in the clear, apply some pressure. Instead, Caps is going to look for a potential invade here. Joko down to 250 HP. Look at the wards being placed by Nerv inside Millenium's jungle.
Yeah, it's fairly... Oh, hang on, pretty. Got to be careful. Here comes the lockdown.
Very good damage from Caps. Manages to connect the Q after Olaf lands an undertow. That just allows Pretty to get poked out. Corrupting Potion for Caps, so he's going to be able to stay sustained.
Yep.
Through any of the CC he's burning, mana he's burning.
And there's another way that he'll be able to stay sustained. When you look at that Comet of Legend, the E ability, very long cooldown on it, but what you do is you basically stack that up, you can recall, and it gives you advantageous recall timings against most opponents because you use it just to get back to lane, so you can go back and buy so often, and it allows you to get a very large CS advantage. It's something we saw Huhi do very effectively at Mid-Season Invitational.
Multiple times. Similar sort of impact as Teleport,
yes,
but arguably even better.
Also gank potential. Ghost has been used.
Take a look. Kazi's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Star Search gets interrupted. Very well played.
Really nice pillar out from Kaze. Blocked Caps' entry into the lane. That also now forced out the Ghost from Caps. Memento's going to have to pick up mid lane.
And Infernal Drake is Dragon #1 on the Summoner's Rift. So we're going to see who's going to prioritize that and focus it. Still fairly early on in the LCS. That tends to have an average life of around 7 minutes.
Yep.
And
it's a little shy of that, I believe.
Yeah.
But generally the 3 contested dragons last around 7 minutes. And
it's just weird because the previous series, the first dragon went down at like 15 minutes in both games.
That's because they were just fighting. Yeah. It was like, there's a dragon to fight over, let's fight, and then they forget that they were fighting over a dragon. Is
Aurelian's Soul a celestial dragon?
That doesn't count. You don't get a buff for killing him every time.
I can't remember his lore. I know he creates planets. The Star Forger.
Yes.
So it doesn't actually answer the question. Pulse, tell me. I'm sure you know.
He's going to tweet you, I'm sure. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
But Caps hasn't really been able to, or hasn't attempted the recall and Comet of Legend back. He's going to wait for the timing that Pretty uses his teleport, and then Caps will be able to kind of do it again and again. It was because he tried to go bottom lane instead.
Yeah.
So I don't think... So Comet of Legend is broken by taking damage. I wonder.
What do we wonder?
I don't... So this is something that I haven't got enough experience with the interaction. Trundle Pillar doesn't actually
deal damage.
So does it interrupt?
I don't think that it does because
it counts as terrain.
Caps ignores terrain.
Exactly, and that's what I'm asking is like, does the fact that there's a crowd control effect there actually stop Comet of Legend? I genuinely do not know the answer to that. So if it had Comet of Legend, would he have got into that lane
even easier?
Even easier. Now, I don't know that. Yeah. So...
Not an Aurelian Soul player myself,
no.
So I cannot answer it. And we're going to get you a glimpse of the duo lane. Upset and Sunukes a lot, shoving in Tabs and Masterwork, as you expect. Double ranged into the Ezreal Braum. So Tabs is losing some CS, got himself a Tyr and Cull versus BF Sword, so this is going to be a very challenging lane setup. Caps didn't even use Comet of Legend while we were watching there to get back to lane. And we'll just use the Celestial Expansion, push out the wave, look to set up another play. But this time round, Caps was heading in the direction of Joko. And that's no joke, it could be problematic.
Please don't do that for the entire series.
I'll try not to.
It'd be pretty annoying if you did that. Comet of Legend comes out.
There we go. Just to get over the blue buff. Forces the flash from Joko. A lot of respect to the damage, but Sentinel loses patience. And enough of these funny games. And he just goes back to his tiny little hovel. Thing is, engage continues. All right, Stand United's up for Wicked, which is why he's not left the lane. 57 CS, blue buff. Oh, very good. Very cheeky, actually. Joko just uses that barrel to knock it backwards.
So for Caps, we seen him go the blasting one first. One of the common items that we'll see come out from Aurelian's Soul is going to be the Rallies that comes out fairly often. Tends to have a good effect because you just slow anybody you touch with those stars.
And just double checking, by the way, Kaze was the one that got the blue buff from that little play earlier. Pretty, lot of damage here. Is going to lock down Caps, roots him in place. Joko comes out, Stand United's being channeled. The Ash arrow was blocked. Masterwork caught the arrow, and I think that meant Caps died. Stand United did not complete. And Millenium, they get first blood.
Yeah, Millenium with the first blood off Caps being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Couldn't get himself out despite having his summoners available. Was trying to just dodge out the True Shot Barrage, ended up taking too much damage, and this Aurelion Sol for now hasn't really had the effect that they wanted to, but they are still waiting for those periods when Nerv can group. This is still early on for the time that it's meant to be prominent. They have got a duo lane lead. Upset and Sir Nukesalot are up, but you got to kind of expect that. Ashe Zyra, the amount of damage that comes from that lane during a laning phase is really difficult to deal with.
It's oppressive. There's nearly nothing that can stand toe-to-toe with it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, even Bard lanes struggle because you have to step forward for that, so you end up getting locked down. There's the tower going down in favor of Nerv.
So Nerv off to a very, very strong start. And remember, they are the team that only had one win coming into the series in the penultimate week of games here in EUCS.
And that's a tower going down in the 2v2 as well. And typically the 2v2's been a decent strength for Millenium. They've been able to hold their own against a lot of the bottom lanes here in Challenger Series. So this Ashe-Zyra combination, very difficult to deal with. And that's the thing for Nerv's composition this game is it's fairly unorthodox and difficult to anticipate what's happening a lot of the time. You can kind of get caught by an Ashe arrow out of nowhere. Aurelion Sol flying
by a giant Aurelion Sol out of nowhere.
I really want to see just one that's been charged
even
up
if you look at some of that, right? You can have Memento running in and Shen can TP on him with Stand United. Or Caps can fly in with Commandant Agent and he can deliver a Shen by flying in as a giant Starforging Dragon. And all of that can be preceded by Ashe arrows.
Yeah.
But you've got to do those things. And right now, Nerv, they had a very good advantage in the 2v2. Millenium pieced out of that lane, and Tabs and Masterwork took the Infernal Dragon, uncontested. So just as we've gone over 10 minutes, gold advantage Nerv, tower advantage Nerv, dragon advantage Millenium.
Yeah, Millenium, of course, getting that added damage from Infernal Dragon. But you can see back to a 2v2, this time on the bottom side. Joko is hanging around here, but I don't actually think he's going to be able to get into the lane too effectively. Although Ezreal Braum can kind of close some distance into a Zyra that has ultimate is probably not recommended. Yeah. She covers so much area with the Stranglethorns.
The one thing that I do think is fair to say, I was a little critical of Zyra on the aggressive.
Yeah.
Anytime Millenium want to go forward, it's so easy for Sir Nukesalot to just shut it down. Because Trundle has to run at you, Gragas has to body slam forward, and Stranglethorns prevents any further follow-up. So if you wanted to protect your backline against a very predictable engage from Millenium, that's a way you could do it. Caps could be in trouble. Look at Joker from the side. Star Surge comes down. Barrel manages to get flashed, and Caps stays alive. Wicked very quick on the Stand United trigger.
Oh man, and look at this. The second tower's going down in favor of Nerv. Upset, ooh, not quite able to get it himself, but it will end up getting that from there. So that was a good time to Stand United coming out from Wicked. Able to close the gap between mid lane and keep him alive there. Oh, here comes the Ashe arrow.
Let's find out if it connects them to a target. That was way optimistic. Caps uses the voice of light that slows Pretty down. Undertow's come out as Memento has got Ragnarok running. Picks up another axe, lands it forward. Caps has been able to escape. Defensive flash over the wall as Joko manages to get away. Undertow tags Kaze on the way out, and Upset, low on mana, has just joined the middle lane.
Died.
True shot barrage. Sorry, couldn't hear you, Aurelion Sol. Caps goes down, Tabs gets a kill.
We didn't see the True Shot Barrage come out, but Tabs manages to at least even up a little bit of the kill trade in that. Looked to be very good for Nerv. I was going to say Caps got out alive just from the extra movement speed that he ended up getting from that passive, but wasn't to be. Nerv looking for the Rift Herald. If they can give Wicked that, it will give him obviously a little bit more of an advantage here, but so Caps didn't quite hit the stun to begin with. A lot of crowd control did not hit from Nerv in this. Attempted the large, or the long-range arrow to come into that fight again. Not even Sir Nukesalot managed to get it, but a lot of flashes were used because of the crowd control. And that results in tabs. Here we go. True shot barrage. Oh, Caps even saw it coming. Couldn't quite get out of the way.
Not this time around. And that's actually very, very impactful because tabs has been shut down pretty heavily. He's still done around 1,000 gold because of the towers and the CS. But that kill will at least help close that gap ever so slightly. Maybe allow tabs to claw back into this game. Plus 24 for Pretty's Karma. Caps has spent a lot of time roaming, which is why he's down in CS. And then even pretty much across the board for top, for jungle, and then obviously for support.
Observers showing us that Wicked did get that Rift Herald buff. So keep in mind, Kaze can't steal the damage reduction that comes from Rift Herald. So it does give Wicked a little bit of respite in that top lane, but still isn't enough to like tilt the matchup in his favor.
Some respect there from Caps. The moment Masterwork was in range, instantly backed away. Joko came from the side 2 minutes ago, so would have been able to throw a barrel out. Instead, Joko's going to double team the blue buff and steal that one away with Kaze.
Caps hasn't really been effectively able to use the Comet of Legend. At this point, you would normally see him recall. Look at the amount of time he's had on the map here. He cleared out the wave, has enough gold to pick up the Rod of Ages that he is wanting to get. But he stays in lane actually to shove the wave out and then look to roam. So rather than continuing to play this Aurelion Sol towards like a laning advantage, he's trying to roam for different plays around the map, and he's actually ending up not utilizing a lot of the strengths that this champion has.
It kind of leads you to think is slightly less practiced, because the way who he used it at MSI was actually beautiful to behold. It showed the team had practice and had worked around the entire kit and tried to use the kit to set up plays. Now, admittedly, many of those plays didn't work out, but they were attempted, and it was execution that cost the errors.
But Caps was just sitting in a bush for about 30 seconds, not doing anything. That's the opportunity that you should go back. And now he's getting caught out.
Cap steps forward. Voice of Light will buy some time. Ash Arrow splits up Millenium. Joko's body slam won't find a target, but it will not matter. The swing comes down from Joko onto Joko, and he will eventually get taken down. Caps, with the expansion and the support of his team, make that one work.
Was able to hang on for long enough. We thought perhaps that Caps was caught out. Turns out the rest of Nerv are able to group very effectively, and this is a significant lead that Nerv have right now. So despite the differences in Caps' playstyle on Aurelion Sol, it doesn't actually matter. Nerv are having a great showing.
And this is very, very impactful on the standings.
Yep.
We touched on this fact. Nerv had 1 point. Their closest opposition, Epsilon, now have 2 points. If Nerv can guarantee at least an additional, they have the possibility of overtaking for 5th and potentially 4th when you look at next week's results. I'll expand what this means for Millenium in a moment. If you look at the minimap, support comes in for Nerv.
Yeah, it took a couple of moments to get in, but Memento runs himself in already with Ragnarok going so that nobody can block his way into the fight. It's the Gragas ultimate to try and salvage something from this fight, but Joko ends up getting picked off as well. So Caps did a good job of hanging on there and actually just backed with 2.3k gold. So gets himself the Rod of Ages, picks up the needlessly large rod, and works his way towards the Rallies. So Caps is in a good spot.
Yeah, so far ahead right now in terms of just utility. And that's what's allowing, I think, Nerv to do well. But for Millenium, if they do not get a 2-0 here, they're at risk of potentially losing 2nd place. A draw or a loss guarantees Misfits first, right? That's the first thing. But more important than that, if Millenium go down 0-2, they allow everyone else around them, they allow Forge and Huma the potential to catch them next week.
It'll be an interesting set of games next week, but at the same time, we've got some pretty interesting games today as well with this Aurelion Sol pick, the Olaf coming out from Nerv. As you're saying, fairly difficult composition to run. Yeah. But I mean, the real thing that Millenium have struggled with is this 2 versus 2. They've been able to farm, sure, but they lose track of Ashe. They lose track of Zyra in exchange for farming. And it means that Nerv have just consistently pushed turrets down. Look, they're doing it again.
I mean, this game really has actually been defined by Upset and Sanuks a lot.
Tabs is caught.
Ash Arrow onto Tabs. Memento's running forward. Ragnarok's down. Stand United is available. Not been used yet. and the defensive Stranglethorns defends against the tower. To go back to the point, Upset and Sir Nukesalot are tearing Millenium apart.
Yeah, and they haven't been doing it through kills or really through farm. They've been doing it through map movements alone. It's been, okay, we'll dominate the 2v2, push up to the tower, take the tower, nobody from Millenium can stop us, rinse, repeat.
Every single tower that Nerv have secured has been because of Upset and Sunuxalot being in the right place at the right time, as well as using those Ash Arrows effectively.
And you can see how that now transitions into vision control game. Look at how many wards have been on the bottom side, because that's where Nerv have been focusing their aggression. Now they're going to turn it towards top side. Upset's already moving up there. And Kaze tries to get himself out of this. Wicked is keeping him around for now. Comment of Legends about to come out from Caps.
Ash Arrow.
There's a lot of Nerv members collapsing top.
Oh, volley comes out. All right, Upset wants the farm instead. We wanted the kills. And we are now upset with Upset because he didn't go for the engage.
We had enough kills last series.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite happy to see a more strategic game being played from Nerv as well. I must admit I hadn't quite expected it, or at least Nerv to look so good against Millenium right now, but they are looking great.
And it all just stems from a ridiculously strong 2v2. Because Upset and Sunuxalot, they had the advantage against Ezreal Braum. They pressed that advantage very, very hard. And that allowed Nerv to just unlock the map. We're approaching 20 minutes. It's a 3,000 gold lead. 4 towers to 0. There's a dragon apiece, but it's mountain for Nerv, which plays into their favor because they're the ones pushing towers.
And at this point, you can see Nerv, they shove up through the top side with Ashe. Then the rest of the team regroup, get the vision control. Caps is going to push back pretty in the middle lane, and Millenium really have nothing to offer. Tabs tried to take the red buff, but I'm pretty sure that Upset managed to grab it for himself.
Looks like it. Upset's wearing the red buff, Tabs is not. And I'm just... look, I'm excited we're seeing Aurelion Sol. I'm just a bit disappointed it's not quite the level we were anticipating. Even if you remove the team factor and, you know, the practice required to pull off his plays, it just feels like Caps isn't utilizing the full kit all that well.
That's fair for now. I think Caps also... The thing with Aurelion Sol is until you get 2 items, or at least a little bit more tankiness than just Rod of Ages. As Joko catches 2.
Oh, that was a great barrel. All of a sudden, Upset is taken down. So Nukesalot puts down the Stranglethorns. That'll buy some time. Enough for Memento to arrive. And a body slam flash from Joko secures the second kill. That's a double for Tabs. And Upset and Nukesalot, a little too overeager.
Yeah, too far up in the lane, and the duo lane gets punished as well. They knew there was no real way of Memento coming in time, and yet they still pushed up to the turret, did not have vision on where Joko was, and it's an easy double to pick up. I was going to say that Aurelion Sol doesn't really feel overly comfortable until 2 items.
Okay.
Once that rallies as well, just that extra bit of tankiness. So for you to actually be the engage is somewhat difficult, but you're never going to be able to help in plays like this is the difficult thing as well. Great barrel. Great knockback.
So good.
Very clean setup. I mean, Joko had all the time in the world, but clean is clean at that point.
Yeah, and just I think a little bit of, I don't want to say disrespect because that implies like super negative, but maybe just a lapse in judgment, right? Not being aware of the potential threat. They hadn't seen Joko for a while.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not necessarily disrespect, but not respecting at the same time.
There we go.
Like, I mean, that sounds
weird,
what you
mean.
And people will be like, "Wait, isn't that the same thing?" But no, as you said, like saying it's disrespectful, I think would be
that's a conscious decision,
right?
Hey,
exactly.
even if he's there, I don't care. Whereas if you don't think, hey, maybe he's there, that means you're not respecting the possibility.
Exactly.
I got you, dude. We're on the same page. Glad to hear it after 5 games. Because
hey, look, you'd be on any page after the last game.
It would be a terrible time to find out, right? Oh, bugger. Maybe everything we've just done for the last 4.5 hours doesn't mean what I think it means. Also, Vidius is super salty.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's been...
because of your feedback?
Yeah, like he doesn't really like the fact that we all know Archer and he doesn't.
Oh.
And he's not part of the Cool Kids Club. Yeah.
He needs to get his turtleneck in order.
Righteous Glory will allow Memento to wear his tactical neck all the way to battle. And I like to get the kit that Nerv have put together with the whole team composition, because Millenium, yes, they've started Dragon, but Nerv can engage from everywhere. Ash Arrow catches onto Masterwork as Caps is flying around. The stun comes down. Shen will be delivered thanks to Caps. Ash is already down. That's Upset, a big part of the damage. Dragon is being focused by Memento. He manages to secure that one for Nerv. That's the second mountain as Memento is going to get taken down.
Caps
the team fight was executed poorly, and Caps is still holding on to his Voice of Light.
Yeah, Caps didn't have the option to use Voice of Light for many situations through that team fight. He obviously wants to catch multiple people with it, but it was really only Joko that was aggressing on him and just denying his entry into the fight. Memento and Upset die. Nerv got themselves the Dragon. Oh, Millenium, they're setting the trap.
Very good ward. Wicked walks up just into
TP.
Range. Teleport from Pretty instantly cancelled. Very, very good. Finding plants there from Nukeslot. He gets taken down. Pretty gets the kill. Caps is able to get one with a Celestial Expansion. And the rest of Nerv trying to turn this around. Wicked has teleport available if he wanted to go for any shenanigans elsewhere on the map, but decides against it, and instead Nerv, well, let's be honest, they buggered up that team fight.
That's your favorite word of the last 2 minutes, I tell. At this point, Nerv, yeah, I want to see exactly what went wrong in that fight. Most of my focus was on Caps the first time we watched it through. I was keeping an eye on exactly where he was coming into the fight. So we see Upset with the engage. This time I'll take a little bit more notice of what Upset and Memento are doing. You can see his Caps get zoned all the way up. So Millennium Kite back, teleport finishes, and Kaze just takes out Upset. Massive amount of damage that follows forward, and then Memento focuses down the Dragon. Pretty and the rest of Millennium, though, able to take him out. And you can see Caps pretty much, well, fairly untouched, but at the same time didn't really do a lot of damage in that fight himself.
No, definitely not the case. And for Upset, cast a curse rings true. Because we were praising the impact that Upset and Nukeslot had.
The duo lane, crushing them. They're just pushing up to towers.
And now they are primarily responsible for Millennium coming back in this game.
It'll never be as bad as what I did to Fox on this week's LCS.
That was pretty terrible.
Fox has never given up first blood this split for his team. 2 minutes later.
Literally 2 minutes later. Literally
scripted.
2 minutes later. What was it, after 12 games?
Yeah, I think it was like in game 13.
Yeah, 13th
no, it
game.
might even have been 15.
Yeah, one of those. 13 or 15 games of LCS on a team that is second to last or last place. The only player that hadn't given up first blood, and then Stress made it happen. He put the bad juju in place. And all right, potential for another team fight. Masterwork gets stunned by a Star Surge. Wow! Memento's running at a mile a minute with Ghost and Righteous Glory. The tactical neck. He's targeted on Kaze. The first victim is Masterwork. He was the first man stunned under tower. And the Star Surge, second time round, catches Joko. Caps is taking a lot of damage, and Memento's forced to back away. Nerv get themselves a kill after throwing everything at Millennium, but it's not done yet.
Oh, he got Caps! Oh, Tabs manages to pick him up. Millennium get one on the exit of that fight. And Tabs is going huge so far in this game. 4-0-4. Caps not found after that fight.
No, because he's dead. Tabs was able to arcane shift forward and take him out. Mirror Mana completed. Blade of the Ruined King almost done. Frozen Fist. And all of that goodwill, all of that good early game is now being undone. Maybe Millennium starting to show through why they are the #2 team here in EUCS.
Memento just runs through the fight, but then runs into the native enemy of Olaf, a wall.
Oh, yes.
And Pretty flashes over, so can't really close it. And from here, this is the problem, though, for Nerv, is they don't have any crowd control left. Again, Caps didn't use his ultimate during that entire fight. I guess he felt like he didn't get aggressed upon too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I guess the knockback effect could technically make it more difficult. If you're sending him away from Olaf, who needs to run at them.
Well, the thing is, it's one of the uses of the ultimate is if you do get two people coming at you, or anybody coming at you, use it and not come back, and that gives you the safety. Because as soon as you get inside the Celestial Expansion, Aurelion Sol finds it very difficult to do damage just because of how much of his damage comes from the stars.
Yeah.
A significant portion of it does. Yes, his Q does damage. Yes, his ult does damage, but still, you need to be
multiple
landing
hits.
those stars time and time again in fights.
Yeah, you really need to connect with them. And for Millenium, all of a sudden, we're getting to 30 minutes, and now it's Millenium that are starting to feel a little bit more in control. It's Millenium responding to the aggressive plays from Nerv. 1 minute to the next dragon, which is an Ocean. Baron seems to be the contested area of the map for now.
I want to see a mid lane siege play. Because, okay.
Oh, I've given up on that. I got pieced out.
So there are reasons behind why you do it as well. It is not to engage a fight necessarily.
Okay.
What it is for is you stack up a stun big enough and you time it with a minion wave coming through that it forces Millenium away from the tower and you get the tower for free. Because you cannot stand behind that tower. Exactly, you zone them away. The same with, you've got a Zyra, you've got an Ashe. Like, these champions are good at pushing people away from towers. And I haven't seen Nerv use it yet, and I want to. I'm being selfish.
No,
so I want to see it.
I think it's fair. If Aurelion Sol's locked in, it's part of what the kit is designed to do at its strengths. For now, though, Nerv, they've thoroughly set their sights on the mid lane. Ashe Arrow comes out, tags Masterwork. Masterwork is able to get the Unbreakable Shield up. Look at Momentum. Memento running forward. He's already taken down Pretty. That's a big part of the extended teamfight utility. Tabs, though, is untouched, while Kaze has chunked down Upset. True Shot Barrage sends him packing before Kaze is killed from the fight. Tabs still has mana, still has health, and still has a red buff available. Tags with a Mystic Shot. It's a 1 for 2 in favor of Nerv. But Tabs just never seems to be a threat.
No, Tabs is completely safe these fights. I mean, the Ashe Arrows aren't hitting him. A lot of them are hitting either Joko or Masterwork in these fights. And it means that they cannot actually close the distance, despite having a lot of crowd control effects. That Olaf runs in and basically ends up having to run back out again. It's just like, well, I got damage down, but I'm quite low, and I can't stay here alone. Man, this is it's been a very strange game compared to the other ones we've had today. We've had one that was a lot of fighting, and now we've had one that's a lot, you know, closer to be based on strategy. But Masterwork eats that arrow. And
I mean, Caps even fired the Star Surge into the Unbreakable Shield. I feel like he channeled that one after the shield went up. It's a minor thing, but Tabs again just sniping away.
And on the back line, like, nobody can get to him. That's one of the things about running the Olaf is if you can't get to the back line, it's very difficult to have a massive effect. Observers are showing us Nerv got an Ocean Dragon, and that we are late enough that Elder Dragon is about to spawn. Oh, here we go!
Yay!
Yes! What? Oh.
Yep.
They weren't ready to detonate.
So I am glad that Caps has discovered the ability to do that. I'd like to see it done more frequently, and it could have been used earlier when Nerv really had a sizable lead. The early game belongs to Nerv. The mid game has been punished by Millenium. Baron's been started. Kaze's got teleport available. Wicked does too. The rest of Millenium coming around. Baron is going very, very low. True Shot Barrage deals a lot of damage, and Nerv back away. Teleport cancelled by Kaze. Advantage Nerv. Yeah. Wicked can use TP or Stand United. Ashe Arrow, good from Tabs. He channels the Arcane Shift to get away, but look at the damage on Memento. Stand United could still be used by Wicked. He needs to use it on Nerv if they want to win a team fight. I don't think he's going to get the chance. Upset's too far forward. Chop, Mystic Shot, and that's Upset dead. Wrong place, wrong time. Millenium take their second tower. They're not done. They'll take another to follow. Yeah, they're going to keep pushing this through. I mean, Caps can't really do too much here to stop this. Millenium will back away and secure vision control over the Baron. It's frustrating to see Nerv think that Baron is the only option for them. They've kind of feels like they've exhausted everything else in their minds. And when you've got so much pick potential, so much crowd control, and the ability to start fights, going straight to the Baron and trying to kind of rush it down is not going to be the best way of actually closing a game. We'll see exactly how this pans out. 3,000 health left. Upset is not yet. It's a 5 versus 4. Caps is on the wrong side of the team. He steals it! Upset, Celestial Expansion, or I think the Voice of Light takes it down. The cost is Memento's life, and the rest of Millenium are looking for blood. Cap should not be able to escape. Gets tagged by the Soul Flare. The damage from True Shot Barrage. A flash forward from Pretty. A 2 for Baron, and Nukesalot almost goes down again. Wicked's able to teleport in. The flash dash will not find a target, but Nerv, Baron on 3.
Upset did not spawn before the Baron, so Nerv have to play this a little bit more carefully here. The Baron steal coming out from the Voice of Light, but it's Millenium that are looking to push. They're going to get this tower down. No real way of Nerv stopping this, so it's, you know, one tool less for Millenium right now, but Nerv have lost control of this game.
They absolutely have. Millenium have got the gold lead, have got the kill lead. They've evened out the towers. And here's that Baron fight once again.
So this is Caps heading around the side for this fight. Well, early smite comes out from Joko, and it's a pretty straightforward steal from Caps here. He's gonna then try and recall out, realizes he can't, so as soon as he takes damage here, he knows that this is his exit path gone. Now, as soon as they cancel the ability to use Comet of Legend, by denying him the stack, you suddenly realize there's no escape.
No. Very difficult to outrun a Karma.
Even if you are a Celestial Dragon.
Yep, a Star Forger, if you will. And Aurelion Soul will. Every time we cast a Q, in fact. But yeah, Millenium now, 35 minutes in. They do have to defend against Baron buff for a couple minutes, but he's only on 2 members. And both of the teleports for Kaze and Pretty are available once again. But so much of this game is just revolved around this river.
Yeah.
There's been contest over Dragon, contest over Baron, a couple of contests on the outer towers, but no team making inroads into enemy territory.
Not for a long time.
Yeah.
Nerv were making those plays about 10 to 15 minutes ago, when they were pushing bottom lane and cutting through to mid and trying to get further towers, but they stopped doing it. There are a couple of fights, like when Upset extended top with Sir Nukesalot and got picked off, I feel like that was the real end to their pushing days.
Caps arrives, throws out the Q, doesn't find a stun. Nerv will take this tower, but I think that's very right, Stress. Upset and Nukesalot, they forced a handbrake by getting taken down, and it wasn't something that, I mean, Captain Obvious, it wasn't part of the game plan, Stress.
Look, we're going to push in 4 towers. We're going to go top, he's going to Greg assault us, we're going to die, and that's how we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
Feels like a plan that the Penguins from Madagascar would have.
What are the names?
I don't know.
We'll have to find out.
I'm not a...
Keep me updated if anything else changes.
Penguins of Madagascar. Wow, I can actually see this happening. I'm quite surprised.
It's actually the 3rd most common Google search. Oh, Kowalski! How can we forget Kowalski?
Yeah.
Skipper, Kowalski, Private, and Rico. Rico's like the danger man. Rico, give me the axe. I don't think I'd be Skipper.
Does that make Rico the Krieger of this?
Yes.
Of this
absolutely.
setup?
Absolutely. Maybe, yeah.
Shout out to Vedius for not knowing what we're talking about. He's going to be so frustrated tomorrow when he comes in.
Elder Dragon time is going to get tagged by a Joko Barrel, which means Kaze is going to get tagged by a Breath of Fire. The rest of Millenium are slightly split up, actually. Whoa, Nukesalot, he's not with the team. Ashara catches Joko. Star Surge will stun up Masterwork. He jumps in to save his teammate. Very big shield. Voice of Light deals some damage. Flash over the wall by Upset. He gets bounced forward, gets taken down. That was far too aggressive. Double kill for Memento. Looking for more. He's gone low, putting the damage down. Reckless swing, as well as those vicious strikes. It's a triple. Memento's not done. Looking for more. Finally gets taken down by Kaze. A stun onto Kaze will allow Nukesalot and Caps to take him down. 2 for 4, and Nerv win the fight.
Crazy aggressive play out from Upset to try and continue that team fight. We've seen a couple of AD carries do it recently, but that was just a reckless play coming through over the wall. Ends up in Upset dying, but 4 kills overall go over to Nerv. Memento going huge in that fight, and now Nerv want to push down. They do not have the Baron buff on them, and that barrel clears out a lot of the health on those minions, but it's not going to be enough to deny Nerv for now.
20 seconds before Tabs is up. Kaze in 25. Masterwork and Joko rooted in place by those grasping roots. The tower is taken down and Nerv will be content with that play.
So they catch Joko. There's the old switcheroo as Masterwork gets himself out as well. White is up. Oh, he's got Shen.
He'd already arrived.
Yeah, I was going to say, he had Shen on him. He thought he was giving the taunt into the fight. Normally a Shen player will be telling you, get me closer at that point. So you can see why Upset ended up doing it. Problem was, Wicked was already there. It was the remnants of the shield that remained. And that's the end of the fight for Nerv. So
Upset just gift wraps another kill.
Yeah. Man, normally you'll see those plays and people are like, wait, why would you flash? I can see the reasoning now. It just is a little unfortunate on the timing for him.
Yes. Nerv are on the verge of guaranteeing Misfits a #1 seed going into the playoffs. Misfits fans around the world are celebrating this potential. But Nerv still have to close this out, approaching 40 minutes into the game. Millenium still marginally behind in gold, heading kills. Full itemization is becoming apparent for both teams, and the minion wave is pushing towards Millenium. Caps is coming in from the backline. Ashara is onto Joko, and the teleport delivers Kaze. Kaze's going so low, rooted in place by Nuxalot. The heal comes up very, very good thanks to Subjugate, but Caps gets a kill into Joko. The Celestial Expansion is ticking damage away. That's a triple, that's a quadra, looking for more. This could be a pentakill. It's secured by Caps on Aurelion Sol.
Nerv have just taken out Millenium in game 1 of this series. That's the second half of this, Trevor. This is an unbelievable game coming out from Nerv. They have played Aurelion Sol with Olaf Jungle and are about to take game 1 against Millenium.
Pentakill from Caps. Press W and stand far away. You shall not pass. You shall not challenge for first seed. Nerv pick up a win, taking down Millenium.
Well, I told you I wanted to see something fun out of this game, Trevor. Nerv, I was not expecting it to be Aurelion Sol with a pentakill to win the game. Win the game. Oh, that was great.
After losing nearly every single team fight, Nerv just find a way to actually win a team fight and grab the pentakill.
Grab the pentakill? I mean, where did this Nerv come from? We're 4 weeks in. They decide to now pick the most oddball composition perhaps we've seen.
2 weeks in. Because 3 of their players are different. See.
I was very confused where you were going on that one.
I know. I'm just trying to bring in a fresh pair of eyes. But yeah, I mean, Millenium go down. They lose the early game solidly. They win the mid game solidly. And then a couple of team fights just go horribly. I mean, Upset was terrible. Like, all due respect, caught out of position multiple times, flashing aggressively when you're that squishy. Dude, can't be doing that. That was bad.
You're very passionate about this game.
I got a bit excited there by Space Dragon Pentakill.
Oh, Space Dragon Pentakill. That sounds like something Pulse would say. That's what I'm feeling from that. I feel like I'm still beside Pulse at this point. But, okay, he had some aggressive flashes. Some of them were delivering Shen, which is, I'm not saying excuses them, but there's reasoning behind it. It's not the Peke flash, okay? Where, like, Peke is like, I'm a mid laner, flash
I will flash to kill, yeah.
Still not great.
I think it's pretty bad.
I'm still
pretty
with
close.
you. I'm still with you. Don't worry, I'm not excusing that play. Oh. But all I'm saying is there's reason behind it on this one.
I had so much fun today on Challenger. Those 2 ridiculous games earlier between Huma and... who was Huma playing against? I've just forgotten now.
Misfits.
Thank you. Huma and Misfits. Just
gone.
Bloodiest, craziest kills. Pentakill for Aurelion Sol. Misfits guarantee first place. And Nerv? Hell, if they do this again, they actually run a shot at making it to playoffs. Regardless, we're going to head to an ad break. When we come back in 3.5 minutes, let's find out if Nerv can make it 2-0.